it's Halicue. Welcome to Hey, it's Halicue, the podcast and the community built exclusively for Black women of the 92%. I am Halicue, a thought leader for Black women of the 92% and the creator of this space. And I am your host as we navigate what it means to live fully, freely, and unapologetically. This is where we, as Black women, prioritize ourselves, our rest, our power, and our collective future. The Hey, it's Halicue podcast is where we reflect, we strategize, and we build together. This is about us as Black women thriving in this nation. It's about reclaiming our time, our joy, and our place and our pleasure in this world. Not as supporters of somebody else's visions. No, we're doing this as the architects of our own vision. And today I'm excited, and the smile is going to be kind of big because we're going to be talking about something they don't want us to recognize, and that is our collective resolve. The collective, as far as I'm concerned, for Black women, the collective is the new coup. The collective resolve is the power that we hold when we move together, when we refuse to be humbled, and when we decide that well-being is going to be a key part of our political strategy over the next 4 years. But before we begin today's conversation, I always want us to take a moment to ground ourselves. As Black women in this country right now, and all of this insanity and this chaos, we deserve this moment. We deserve some time to fully arrive in this space, not just as individuals, but a part of something much, much larger, because we are not alone. You are not alone. Black women, we are here together. We are rooted, we are connected, and we're unbreakable. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. This world, this country, I'm not even going to put it on the world, I'm going to put it on this country. This country has spent generations trying to make us forget that. But right now, in this moment, we are going to reclaim it. So wherever you are, if you're lying down, I love if you could lie down if you could, but even if you're standing, I want you to try to find just a few moments of stillness. I'm not even going to hold y'all. It's not even going to take that long. I'm not even going to hold y'all. It's not even going to take that long. Please close your eyes if you can and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale it through your mouth. And let's do it again. Let's do it again. Inhale deeply and now release. Imagine your feet through your legs, through your entire body, your entire being. Feel rooted into the earth beneath you. And listen, I want you to feel yourself anchored, not just in your own physical body, but in the strength of the women who came before us, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, the ancestors whose names you know, and even the ones you don't. Feel their strength beneath you, holding you up, whispering, you are safe. Black women, we are seen, and through them we are protected. And now I want you to feel these roots extending, stretching down, outward, touching beneath the earth, intertwining with the roots of other Black women, both near you and far away. Women that are listening alongside you right now in this very moment. Women that you've never met, who are going to be women that you have never met, who are also going to be moving with the same knowing, the same power. Black women, those of us that consider ourselves the 82%, we need to start thinking of ourselves as a forest, not a tree standing alone, but a vast living network, connected at the roots, always, always holding each other up. And as you take another inhale, I want you to inhale in the energy of this collective, Breathe in the warmth, the wisdom, the unshakable presence of Black women standing in their power. And as you take your final exhale, I want you to release whatever is weighing on you today. Drop it down into the soil beneath you, where it's going to be broken down and it's going to be transformed and used to nourish you, us as Black women, as the 92% in our next season. We're getting ready to get started, but as we do know that we are here together, we are held, we are rising together. So take one more deep, steady breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and let's begin. Now, let's get into it. I was talking with some white women of my acquaintance recently I'm surrounded by them the way a lot of us are. I live in Marin County, California. Y'all can look it up. But I was talking to this woman and I was a little hesitant about even going to the little meetup or whatever, because, I'm really not interested in entertaining any kind of conversation where I can't be completely honest and truly standing 10 toes down as a Black woman. And so anybody, and y'all just notice right now, if y'all invite me someplace and you want to talk to me about the current state of affairs, you're getting 100% Halicue, Black woman Halicue, 92% Halicue, completely unfiltered. So I'm talking with some women. These are educated, seemingly very self-aware women. A girl out of nowhere in the conversation. And I was a little nervous going to the conversation because I was like, if I'm here, I'm going to be completely honest. Hope everybody's careful about what they ask me today. Because I'm not going out of my way to make anybody else feel uncomfortable. Y'all know, you make anybody else feel comfortable. Y'all know we talked about that a little bit earlier in one of the earlier podcasts. So we're talking and like out of nowhere, and for the first time ever, this white woman admitted just about everything that all of us as Black women know about them. And I do think I kind of dropped the mic a couple of times, like where I was like, listen, I'm not here to do any labor. And I said this, I was like, I'm not here as a Black woman to do any emotional labor for anybody, but I am absolutely here for giving you my unsolicited advice and opinions. And I am absolutely here to hand out these I told y'all so's. And I did let them know, I'm like, yeah, y'all, I could tell you what the answer it is and what y'all need to do, because we know y'all better than y'all know yourselves. To that, I got a lot of, like stunned surprise and like big eyes. And I was like, yeah, no, we've been surviving you all for centuries. Centuries. And they had to admit, yeah, that's true. I'm right. But I could not believe when one of them said, I think I might actually be able to be friends with this woman. She says, the problem is that, we as white women, we don't really trust each other. And we don't like each other. And then she went on and she said that, the long and short of it is, and I'm going to kind of generalize a little bit because I want to preserve a little bit of anonymity, but I could not believe the way she was just taking off all these things that we already knew. But I think a lot of us don't have an opportunity to talk about other than like online when we're kind of speaking out to the universe. But she said, that she was taught that, everything was a competition. It's about getting a man. So it's like for beauty, attention. And even after you get the man, the competition never stops. You're worried about somebody taking your man, messing up your family, messing up what it is, you've earned, that like all the way, the only way you flex power is through your husband and your children. And that, this takes a while. And she said that now while she's moved beyond a lot of that, that's basically the problem. That's why there can't be any cohesion between white women is, any kind of feeling of the collective or sisterhood. And I have to tell you, I sat there blinking because obviously we know this as Black women, we see this, we've known this forever. But to hear, and it's even another thing to have to like talk to your children about this, particularly your daughters, letting them know like this is what you're going to have to deal with, like when you're in corporate America and whatever, and you're in these PWIs. And I just could not believe it. And I just kind of sat there blinking, like I know this, but to hear it said out loud, that was really something else. And it also made me think about, have y'all been watching White Lotus? It's one of my favorite shows. And right now on this current season of White Lotus, there is this little trio of white women. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. There's this trio of white women. They're always smiling in each other's faces. They're taking the trip because they're friends from way back. One of them is a movie star. One of them is the wife of some, rich exec of some startup in Austin. And the other one's kind of like she's a, working like jobbing attorney who's like a little, she seems like she feels like she's a little bit run down. She's played by Carrie Coons, who I absolutely love. But secretly, the whole time in the show, they're smiling at each other's faces. And oh my God, we've known each other. You're so beautiful. No, you're so beautiful. But you could just see through their faces. They just secretly despise one another. There's so they're always undercutting, scheming, unable to form any kind of true sisterhood. Because the second one of the trio walks into another room, the other two are just like immediately talking shit. Just again, all the time talking about, oh, we're friends, we're good friends, forming sisterhood. But that's it, just performing. It's an act. It's kind of this sad kabuki theater. And there's even like this scene where we see this beautiful Thai dance, but it's a beautiful woman, but she's dancing with this, she's a puppeteer behind this mask. But y'all, the like backbiting and the just the backbiting, the just everyday little tiny betrayals of each other with even within their own little trio, unable to have anything that feels like actual sisterhood, an actual loving relationship. And I just clicked to me together. So it just clicked to me together. It was so funny that we actually have right now on television a living, breathing example of the problem kind of white women have right now. Because I told them, I was like, y'all could solve this problem right now in 2 years in a single election. But your problem is you don't have what Black women seem to have in spades. And it's that sense of the collective working and doing together towards a common goal, towards what's best for everyone. They just simply don't have that. Now, contrast that with us, Black women, the 92%. Think this week, oh my God, about Joy Reid. I don't know if y'all seen, on any of the news, if any of y'all are still watching corporate or legacy media, which I really wish you'd stop, because again, in this attention economy, these legacy media shows, I don't care who's behind the desk. I really can't help but feel like they're just, again, trying to siphon our energy. And I also feel like the media and legacy media and corporate media, their corruption is part of what got us to where we are right now. But that's a whole nother show. But back to Joy, MSNBC let Joy go, canceled the readout. And the moment we saw that NBC was letting her go, as Black women, we didn't just sit back and accept it, our hearts break, but we held her. We took to the internet. We let her know that we love her. We love the show. For a lot of people, Joy was the only reason they were even still watching MSNBC. I have not watched a minute of MSNBC since the election. I really encourage a lot of people to join me in that. But seriously, immediately when we saw that, it was so important for Black women, for the 92% to get on the internet and say, Joy, we see you. Okay. We sent the message loud and clear. Joy, we're with you. And when she launches her next project, I have a great idea of what her next project should be. Y'all should go listen to me. I kind of rant about it on TikTok. I have a great idea of what her next project should be, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that Joy should start an all Black female online news network. Can you imagine? How smart, how witty, how straightforward, how honest that news coverage would be if it was brought to you by, like, I don't know, or throughout the day, like 4 Black women. Anyway, that's what I think she should do. But whatever Joy's next project is, we are going to be there. Black women are going to be there. The 92% is going to be there because we do not leave our own behind. That is our superpower as Black women, as part of the collective. Now we're leaving our capes over here. We ain't saving these hoes no more. Okay. We ain't saving nobody no more. But that truly is our superpower. And it is something they just do not have. They simply don't. And the only good news I bring from this is that a lot of them are aware of it. At least the ones that have done a little bit of work are aware of it. Oh, it could have knocked me over with a feather. It been some interesting conversations this week. So listen, if you're feeling this conversation, if you are ready to build with other Black women and be a part of a space that is for us, I want you to come be a part of this community. If you are ready to build with other Black women and be a part of a space that is for us, then come and be a part of the 92% community that I am building. Subscribe to my Substack, because we are creating something real there. I love Substack. I talk about it all the time. This is not just talk. This is a movement. This is our political strategy. Okay. And for our accomplices, not allies, but accomplices that know, wait a second, scratch that. And listen, a lot of us are very tired. Y'all know, if y'all are hanging with me or following me on my conversations on TikTok or over on Substack, y'all know that I know that we are bone tired. I know that some of us, just for survival and safety's sake, especially, considering where we were brought up or who brought us up. For me, I was brought up by, parents that came up during the civil rights era in frickin' Mississippi. So I know some of us feel like, the smart thing is to just play it safe. As Black women, we should just stay quiet, keep our heads down, just focus on surviving. But let me tell you something. Black women have been surviving in what, in a lot of ways, has been a fascist country for centuries. Seriously. Slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, Civil Rights era. Yeah, it's really, like, I get it. I understand. But I do not believe that we were put here just to survive. We were put here to thrive, to grow, to build. Black women, we are the blueprint. The oldest remains in the world all go back to the remains of a little Black woman named Daisy in Africa. Okay. We're here to do more. We're built to build, to create, to thrive, to express. And y'all, don't you feel like right now every major system that is, don't y'all feel right now that every major system that ever thrived on our labor is now crumbling? And I'm sorry, as frightening as it is, that is a good thing. They are trying. It feels so much with this, like this last week, it feels like there's been a lot of purging of what I would describe as like our Black excellence, right? Like they just got rid of the Black Chiefs, Joint Chiefs of Staff. This way MSNBC just did Joy felt very, very gross, very insulting. And I can't help but feel that they're trying to humble us, but they don't understand that Black women, we are a collective right now. The 92%, yeah, that's us, Black women. They don't realize that not only are we resolved, we're calmly resolved and accepting. We are moving differently. We are not seeking validation. We are building something of our own now with this movement. We are allowing ourselves and prioritizing ourselves and retraining ourselves to create moments of joy every day, to laugh every day, to be our authentic selves every day. To be artistic and to create every day, to be loving, caring of our families every day, us. And so I want to talk a little bit about what makes this so uniquely. And so I want us to think about what makes this so uniquely Black. I want to bring it back to us. I want to zoom in a little bit. What makes it so specifically and very specially ours. And so with that, I have a journal prompt for us. Okay. I want you to, I don't care how you journal. If you want to do a digital journal, that's what I do. Or if you just want to speak the words aloud in case you're in a car, talk your way through it, that's cool too. But here is our prompt. I want you to think about a time when you were rejected or dismissed. Maybe it's by an employer, like a social group, or even within your own family. How did it make you feel in the moment? What did that rejection, what did it ultimately teach you about your worth? And more importantly, what was the thing that actually healed you? What did you discover about yourself on your journey to recovery? All of us have gone through something like this. All of us have. And that's our first journal prompt. And let's be honest, like our ability to move as a collective has always been like our greatest strength. And we do it innately. My sister pointed this out last week when we were going live. We were live on YouTube. My sister pointed this out, that like talking about the collective and Black women as a collective and Black people as a collective, in Kings of Comedy, when Cedric the Entertainer jokes about how Black people, like when something happens and one of us starts running, like all of us start running. Like we don't even care what it is. Like we'll even, once we realize that it was nothing, we'll be like, girl, what even was that? Like, what were we even doing? I don't know, girl, but I saw you running, so I'm running. That's in itself is like us as that's us acting together as a collective, like in that, even in that little weird fight or flight moment, we're looking out for each other, from the Underground Railroad to like church mothers who stretched a single meal out to be able to feed entire communities. Like that's where the real miracles of the loaves and fishes be working with, Black mamas in the kitchen, to the way Black women still move together and show up at the polls. Y'all, that's why we call ourselves the 92%. Because that's what we did. We showed up. We show up for each other. We don't really move like them. Like we all know how to survive in the system, of course, as students in school, when we're trying to fight our way up through our professions. That's one of the reasons. It's not only our intellectual curiosity, though a lot of us are like ridiculously smart, like over the top smart and ambitious. A lot of us had to do things like getting all the degrees and able to rise in our profession. So we know how to survive in these institutions, and we know how to be the individual, be the applicant in order to navigate these systems that were like never built for us. But we have always thrived through sisterhood, through mutual care, through holding each other up. The white women that I was just talking to admitted outright that they don't like or trust each other, that they are trained from birth to be in competition with and to outmaneuver one another, to see every relationship as transactional. Sound like somebody y'all know in the White House? Okay. Sound like a relationship you see in the White House between the Slovenian titty model and the stunt queen that calls, herself the president right now? Yeah. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, not like us, like truly not like us. Kendrick could never have had a more prescient or timely song. Us, Black women, the 92%, we build deeply. We build deeply. We hold each other loyally. We love expansively as Black women. We don't just see each other as people. We see our humanity in something. We're not all the same. We've never been a monolith, but we can see something of ourselves in ourselves. And when one of us is struggling, hurting, in need, we don't turn our backs. Did y'all see what happened in that Idaho town hall? Now, granted, it was a conservative town hall. Y'all go look it up. Go look it up on Beyonce's internet. It was this Idaho town hall, and this one woman showed up in that town hall, and she was a physician. I think she was a doctor, and she was talking about reproductive rights and women's health. And she was talking about how women are dying because of lack of access to health care because of all these crazy things that are like coming down in different state legislatures regarding reproductive rights in a lot of states. And she was expressing her opinion. Do you know, like, a group of unidentifiable men came over and manhandled her, like worked her down to the ground and grabbed and dragged her out of there by her feet. Y'all go look it up. And not a single, there were white men around, white women around. Damn sure wasn't none of us. Like, so smart for us not to be there. By the way, we're doing the right thing in terms of our safety and just having common sense by not being at these places. Because look at the way that white woman was treated. And there were other white women, one or two maybe said, like, don't put your hands on her, but they didn't do nothing to stop that. They didn't do anything to stop that. If that had been Black women, they would have been dragging all of us off. It would have been something. It would have been a fight if it was another Black woman being treated like that and another Black woman was there. But no, 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 no. Y'all remember the Montgomery Riverboat Brawl? The Collective. That young man, we'll never forget that young man. I wonder how his ever there was some talent, some swimming talent we should be trying to bring up. It was that young man at the Montgomery Brawl. The Collective, one of us seeing another person in danger, being outnumbered, outflanked, beaten down, literally jumping in water, swimming to get over there to help. The collective consciousness. And so we have seen some crazy examples this week of how we are not like them. We're a little different fundamentally as a group in terms of how we move. Some are our accomplices, but my goodness, it was something to me. I wish y'all could have been there with me to hear that. I would actually love to hear if y'all are having any of these conversations being told the same thing. Have any of them ever told y'all that? And so that part, depth and the depth of our love for one another, the loyalty that we hold each other with, that's why this moment, why the 92%, that is why this moment, this movement, the 92% movement feels so special. Feels so important. It feels so powerful. And the funny part, a funny part about this and something that makes me laugh is that as a collective, Black women, 92%, we all decided that it was time the crux of the movement is that we all decided individually that it was time to prioritize ourselves, but we all did it together at the same time as Black women. The same community that has been called the backbone of this country, certainly of progressive politics, the moral compass, we are the caretakers, where everybody's everything all together. We together came to a single conclusion as Black women. And that's, it's time for us to start being selfish. The answer is no. We're going to be working on our nose. We're going to be establishing boundaries immediately. We all decided as Black women right after the election that we needed to focus on our rest, our joy, our reinvestment in ourselves, our communities, our businesses, our minds, our brains, our bodies, our well-being, and our future. Again, the irony, we did not come to this realization alone. It wasn't one woman, one Black woman. It was not one Black woman standing on a mountaintop saying, I'm going to start taking care of myself. No, we just all decided, well, enough of this shit in our own kitchens. Literally, when the final results came in from the election, I closed my computer, turned everything off, and got out a book. And I said I was going to bed, and I did a little yoga, and I went to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning and I got on Beyonce's internet, we all, Black women all decided, y'all got it. We decided, the 92% Black women, we decided that we deserve better. We deserve to move differently, to plan differently, to strategize in a new way. And we're all going to do it together. So y'all see that, the juxtaposition? Anyway, I love that. The power of this movement isn't just in the decision, it was in the collective decision. Do y'all see what I mean when I say this is the new coup? It's in the knowing that when you prioritize yourself, it's in this knowing that We as Black women, when we decided to prioritize ourselves, we're not alone in doing it. It's a very interesting, it's a beautiful mixture. It's kind of interesting. It's like it's in the reassurance that when you set a boundary, when you say no, when you choose ease, you have a sisterhood that will not only support you, but will remind you why it's necessary. I'm telling you, our movement that we're creating now is amazing. That, what we're doing right now, that again is our superpower. It's the jewel, it's the gold, it's the gem. And it's okay that we are kind of keeping it and hoarding it ourselves right now, taking all of that beautiful, wonderful collective energy and focusing it in on us, on ourselves individually, but all together at the same time. It's beautiful. And so with that, I want us to let's do another journal prompt. I want us to reflect upon a time when we felt deeply supported by other Black women. Think of that time, a time when you knew without a doubt that you were not alone. What did that moment teach you about the power of a Black woman's community? What did that moment teach you about the power of community? How did it feel to be held, uplifted, and protected by the collective? Now ask yourself, where in your life are you still operating from individualism or self sacrifice? How can you begin to lean into collective care, mutual support instead? These are the things we're going to be focusing on. Get into that. Get into that prompt. It was kind of a multi part. And so whenever you find yourself, during this week, there's enough in there. So when you find yourself maybe spiraling, getting a little bit afraid, you got something to go work on. Journaling is a healing modality. So go back to these prompts when you need them. And you know what? And I always want to make sure I'm including some of these people because the white woman I was having conversation with, and white women I'm going to be having some conversation with a little later on this week. I consider them not my allies, my accomplices. And if you are listening and you are not a part of the 92%, but you feel yourself, you see yourself in the example I gave you, in the example and story I told you earlier. Maybe you're not a part of the 92% demographically. Maybe you wouldn't necessarily fit within that group, but you believe in what we're doing. If you support Black women resting, reclaiming our power, and investing in our joy, then put your money where your values are. Go to my Substack and become a paid supporter, or make a one-time gift. Because the easiest and most direct way that you can support this movement, the 92% movement, even if you yourself don't necessarily fit into it and you respect the fact that you don't fit into it, support by investing in Black women's work, investing in this podcast, investing in keeping our community going. And if you're listening, okay, it's one of the easiest and most direct ways you can support this movement. Again, by investing in Black women's work. Man, as we get ready to say goodbye, I still can't help but think of Joy and what happened at MSNBC. I don't know. I feel like I'm on to something about this all Black, all women's network. But you know what I love about Joy? She had a moment, she was allowed to have her feelings. I'm just putting up the second part of it's either going to be 7 to 10 part series, kind of introducing the world and telling the story of the 92% over on YouTube. I'd love if y'all go over and subscribe over on YouTube and enjoy the video. It's entirely new content. About feelings and how, kind of giving people an insight into kind of where we are with our feelings, because we're talking about our feelings a lot as Black women too. And I know Joy was hurt. I know that desk at MSNBC, her own show, I know that was probably a lifelong goal of a little Black girl from down south, gets, earns her way into Harvard and just sets this trajectory for herself. And she had a moment. She was in her feelings. We all get to have a moment and be in our feelings. Black women, we've suppressed our feelings and our emotions for far too long. Joy absolutely deserves that. But I love seeing her now. She still went on. She still had her last show. She's still out there. She's over on Substack, by the way. Y'all need to come on over to Substack. A lot of smart Black women over there. Joy was already over there. So that tells you something about the kind of space Substack is. But I love the way she refuses to be humbled. We're not going to let her be humbled. Okay. It's not the way we get down. It's not the way Black women in our collective gets down. Okay. We're going to continue to uplift her. I can't wait to see what her next iteration is. And with that being said, let's get into our final journal prompt. What does refusing to be humbled look like for you? What does that look like? I'll share with you what it means for me right now, what I'm doing in my everyday life. But where in your life have you been conditioned to shrink, to accept less? to play small. What would it look like if you moved through the world with your full, beautiful head of gorgeous hair held high, shoulders back, completely unafraid of taking up space? Please write about the version of yourself, the beautiful, bold Black woman who no longer asks for permission to rest, to dream, and to be seen. I'm giving y'all juicy prompts this week. Okay, I don't want to hear, Halicue, I don't know what to do, and start spiraling. I don't want to hear that. It's going to help ground us. All of this journaling, you sit yourself down, you plant yourself down on the earth, you go back and you do that grounding exercise that I left up there for us. By the way, let me know if you'd like for me to do little extras like this. I'm happy to put some grounding exercises, breathing exercises. I don't want to hear that y'all didn't know how to ground and that you didn't know how to like talk through, work through, write through this stress and this anxiety. Okay, that's something we're going to be doing every week on the podcast. So get into them because these are juicy. I worked hard on these for us this week. Y'all, is this starting to feel less hard? This is starting to feel less hard for me. For some of us, it may still be hard. And I know we're tired. Y'all, it's like Celie said in the color purple, but I'm here. We're here. We're alive as Black women. We are here. We deserve to live the full spectrum of the human experience. We're alive. We're brilliant. We're more powerful than we have ever been before. I never thought I would have been saying this at like 52, but it's true. And this is only the beginning for us, okay? This is only the beginning. If this episode resonated with you in any way, please make sure you go subscribe, turn on your notifications, and listen, go binge the first 4 episodes. This is episode number 5 of our first season. Go back and drink this up. This is how we fill each other's cup. Go all the way back. Listen to the very first episode in the series if you haven't yet. And if you really want to go deeper, come hang out with us over on Substack. That's our home base. And, just before I get ready to say goodbye, the way that I'm going to go through these journal prompts. This week, we're definitely getting on Substack to talk about these. But refusing to be humbled, I just want to share with y'all the way I'm doing it. I don't even watch legacy news media anymore, but enough comes through my For You page on different social media on Substack, through the different news sources that I trust. I'm trying to, and the reason I want Joy to create this network is because I'm tired of, combing through the internet, finding my own sources. I'm absolutely happy to do that. But Joy, I would love it if you took that off my hands. Tyler Perry, build her a studio. Let's get on this. But the way I'm refusing to be humbled, the way I'm refusing to deal with people trying to include me in their Black suffering porn. A lot of people like to ask you, well, how are you doing? How are you feeling? In hopes that you'll tell them about all the ways that you're stressed and anxious and sad and scared about being a Black woman. Not me. No. It's true. Doing this work, working for the 92%, being a thought leader, content creator for us, I've never been happier, never been healthier. I did a triple workout today to get myself and get my energy up ready for this podcast. And I'm doing that through everything that I do and I say, the way I stand up, the way I carry myself. I'm encouraging my daughters to do it. We're not out here sad and humbled, okay? We are going to be thriving out here. That's the way I do it. Smile brighter, I glow harder. I want to pour life and compliments and love into every Black woman I see, to a point where I make other people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm walking across the room, I'm walking past people to go talk to you, to talk to the other Black woman. Like that's what we're doing as a collective. That's the way I'm refusing to be humbled. And think about how you're doing that throughout the week. I want you to get into the grounding exercise. I want you to get into the journal prompts. Come subscribe to the Substack and get over there. That's where we get to have even deeper conversations. Share this podcast with another Black woman that maybe is spiraling a little bit, is a little bit sad, or a little anxious or scared. It's okay. For some of us, this is new. But that's where those of us that have had the healing, that have had the mental health care, that feel very spiritually grounded, that see the opportunity and all the destruction and chaos of these old systems that were never built for us, that were built to extract from us. Now that we see them crumbling, those of us that see, all right, we're doing, that you see something a little bit bigger. You understand that rest, reinvestment, joy, creativity for us as Black women and the 92%, us doing that, investing in that over the next 4 years, you see the potential in what we're going to be able to do and build. That's our job, to keep everybody feeling empowered and uplifted and happy and smiling and laughing. That's our job. That's clearly part of my job. That's why I'm here. And that's why Hey, it's Halicue is here. The podcast is here. The community that I'm building over on Substack is here. Okay. And y'all know this isn't goodbye. This is just until next time. And so listen to the beautiful, the brilliant, the bold, the audacious Black women of the 92%. All the love in my heart. All the love in my heart. All the love in my heart. To the beautiful, the bold, the audacious, the brilliant Black women of the 92%. All the love in my heart to you. And not saying goodbye. I'm just saying au revoir. And to everybody else, I want you to have the day that you voted for. This is Halicue with Hey, It's Halicue. And I'm out. And now a little after show for my paid subscribers. How y'all doing? This is post show. I just finished recording the episode. It's going to be a good one. It might be a little long. It might be a little bit over 35, 40 minutes. But I had such a good time making it. Y'all, the news has been very interesting this week. Christian nationalism continues to take over, yet Black women have never, Black women are Black womening harder than we've ever Black women before. We are happy. We are taking care of ourselves. We're reinvesting in ourselves. We are being in community. And this episode is kind of a celebration of the collective. I had some interesting things happen this week. That was interesting. All right. I hope it hasn't been super blurry the whole time. I hope it's been okay. Some interesting things have been happening this week. We had, it was kind of, what were we talking about in the zeitgeist? Joy Reid, her show being canceled, and some conversations I had with some white women. Potential accomplices. Really, I had some really interesting insights about Black women in the collective and how in a lot of ways that's our superpower. And for the first time, we're using that collective for ourselves instead of emanating it out and giving it away for free to other people. We're really, we're keeping it. Maybe I should pull back a little bit. We're keeping it to ourselves. This blurring is very, very interesting. I'm sorry for this, guys. Oh gosh, how very interesting. Maybe I should turn off this blur effect. Let me see here if I can turn this off. Anyway, I'm gonna have to edit the hell out of this. Ooh, I hope this turned out okay. But it's been an interesting week. And thank you for your support. I just always want to jump on and tell you all thank you, and tell you thank you. Thank you very, very, very much for your support. I appreciate you all so much. And maybe I'll just go ahead and stop it now.